problem 1 on practice exam 6 of chapter 1 in the book Problem Solving with Differential and Integral Calculus. We have a trough in a horse pasture. One's a little bit bigger than the other one. Both need a fresh coat of paint on the outside. The area of the outside is pi r squared plus pi r L. R is the radius of the ends, the curved ends. L is the length. This is the normal equation for the outer surface area. The two troughs have slightly different sizes. One is 80 inches long with a radius of 20 inches. One is 82 inches long and has a radius of 21 inches. Use the normal equation to determine the outer area of each trough. So let's do that before we worry about the other parts. We have the normal equation. We can use it. We just plug in the numbers. So the radius is 21 inches for the bigger one. Length is 82 inches. We get about 6795.3 square inches. The smaller one is 20 by 80, so 20-inch radius, 80-inch length. We get 6283.2, a little bit smaller than 6795.3. We can subtract them to get the difference. It's about 512 square inches. Now we can tackle part C. Derive the difference equation. So the normal equation is this. We want to know how the area changes, delta A, when we change R by delta R and L by delta L. So the bigger trough has a radius of R plus delta R and a length of L plus delta L and a bigger area delta A. We have to solve this equation for delta A. So we FOIL out this term right here and this one, and we get this, and we can see the original area is right here, pi r squared, pi r L. There's the area. We can get rid of those terms. Subtracting the area from both sides leaves this, and that's the answer to part C. But let's separate it into linear and nonlinear. Can you see which ones are linear, which ones are nonlinear? Linear parts only have one change in them. Nonlinear parts have two changes. This term has two changes. It's delta r squared. This term has two changes, delta r times delta L. So we can separate them. Here's the linear terms. One change, one difference, delta r, delta L. There's two changes in each one of those terms. This will give you the slope of the tangent line. Of course, it's a three-dimensional graph. So now we're going to use the difference equation to calculate the difference in area between the two troughs. So we have R is 20, delta R is 1 because the bigger one is 21. L is 80 and delta L is 2 because the bigger one is 82. So we have this equation. We're going to stick in 80 for L, 2 for delta L, 20 for R, 1 for delta R. And everything has units of inches. But we're going to do the linear and nonlinear terms separately because the equation asks for the differences. Here we go. Linear. There we go, 502.7. Nonlinear is the pi r squared, pi delta r squared, plus pi delta r delta L. Pi r delta r squared, pi delta L delta r. That's only 9.4 square inches. If we add these two up, we get 512.1 square inches, and that's exactly what we got last time, 512.1. But the nonlinear term is pretty small. It's about 1/50th of the linear term because the changes are not that big. And the goal is to get a good intuition about how big the linear term is compared to the nonlinear term based on the changes. So you're probably not going to pay attention to the nonlinear term if you're going to go buy paint. 10 square inches is not much to worry about. It's a small difference.